Your brain is a powerful tool, but it's being pulled in too many directions. You wake up with good intentions. You sit down to work, but within minutes, your focus disappears. Your phone buzzes. You check a message. You open a tab. You switch tasks. And just like that, your energy's gone. Not your physical energy, but your mental energy. You didn't run a marathon, but you feel drained by noon. Sound familiar? This isn't laziness. This is your brain being hijacked by distraction. And here's the truth. If you don't train your focus, the world will train it for you. If you don't take control of your mental energy, someone else will. You'll spend your whole day reacting instead of creating. And if you do that long enough, your goals start slipping through your fingers. But it doesn't have to be this way. Today I'm going to show you how to train your brain to focus, how to protect your energy, block distractions, and think clearly again. This is the shift that can change everything in your life. If you want to stop wasting your potential, start here. So if you're tired of feeling scattered, if you're ready to regain control of your mind, hit that subscribe button, stick with me till the end, and take the first real step toward a focused, powerful version of yourself. You can't fix what you don't understand. So before you try to train your focus, take a step back and ask yourself one question. Where is your attention actually going right now? Most people assume they're just bad at focusing, but they've never stopped to examine the leaks in their day, the invisible habits that slowly drain them. Imagine your brain as a bucket. You start your morning with fresh energy, clear intentions. But with every notification you check, every unfinished task you jump between, and every unnecessary tab you open, a small hole appears in that bucket. By midday, your energy is gone, not because you didn't try, but because it quietly leaked out through 1,000 micro distractions. This isn't laziness, it's distraction addiction. Most people blame their lack of progress on motivation, when the real culprit is an untrained attention span. You don't need more hustle, you need fewer leaks. So here's your first step. Track your focus. For one full day, observe yourself. Keep a small notebook or use a notes app. Every time your focus breaks, jot it down. Whether it's checking your phone, switching browser tabs, or opening social media mid-task, log it. You're not judging yourself. You're just collecting data. This is how you start to see the hidden patterns. By the end of that day, you'll start noticing the traps. You'll realize that your brain isn't the problem. It's the chaotic environment you've allowed to shape your behavior. You're not lazy, you're just constantly interrupted, and your mind has learned to expect interruption. Once you see the chaos clearly, you can begin cleaning it up, but awareness alone isn't enough. You need to go one step further. You need to build a system, a way to protect your energy before the distractions even begin. So next, we're going to build that shield. We'll talk about how to structure your environment in a way that makes focus automatic, before your brain even has a chance to wander. Now that you've identified where your focus is leaking, it's time to create a defense system, something that stops distractions before they reach you. Because here's a hard truth. Your brain is only as strong as the environment it lives in. You can have the best intentions in the world, but if you're surrounded by noise, clutter, and constant interruptions, focus will always lose. Most people try to rely on willpower. They say things like, I just need to concentrate harder, or I'll stop checking my phone this time. But willpower is limited. It runs out. That's why relying on it is a losing game. What works better is changing the battlefield. You design your space and routines in a way that makes distraction harder and focus easier. Start with your physical environment. Clean your desk. Close the 17 browser tabs. Put your phone in another room. Better yet, turn it off or use app blockers during your deep work time. You don't need to eliminate all technology. You just need to reduce your decision fatigue. When distractions are one tap away, your brain doesn't stand a chance. Now look at your digital environment. What's the first thing you see when you open your laptop? Social media? Email? News? All of these are attention traps. Set your home page to something blank or purpose-driven. Disable notifications. Create folders. Use tools like website blockers or minimalist desktops. Anything that makes your brain breathe again. Next, control your timing. Block out specific hours for deep work. ideally early in the day when your mental energy is strongest. Turn that time into a daily ritual. No meetings, no emails, no multitasking, just you and one clear goal. Protect this time like your life depends on it, because your future does. When your environment is designed for focus, something powerful happens. Your brain begins to relax. It's no longer fighting constant temptation. It starts trusting you again, and that trust creates momentum. But don't stop there, because even the best environment won't help if your mind is cluttered on the inside. Your surroundings are clean, but your thoughts might still be scattered, and that's what we'll handle next. Next, we'll clear the mental noise. You'll learn how to quiet your mind and reset your internal focus, so your environment and your mindset are finally working together. Ready to go deeper? Let's face it, your brain was never meant to run nonstop. And yet, that's exactly what most people force it to do. Back-to-back tasks, constant notifications, scrolling through endless feeds, no pause, no breath, just noise. And then we wonder why we feel burned out, anxious, or too tired to focus. The problem isn't just distraction, it's exhaustion. Mental exhaustion that quietly destroys your focus from the inside out. But here's the truth. Focus isn't just about what you do during work. It's also about what you allow between the work. If you never give your brain a chance to reset, it will fight you. It will rebel. It'll start dragging you into rabbit holes because it's begging for a break. And that's when you lose hours without realizing it. So how do you break this cycle? You take breaks, but not the kind that leave you more drained than before. I'm talking about intentional breaks, purposeful pauses that refresh your mental state instead of cluttering it more. Try this. Between tasks, don't jump on social media or turn on YouTube. Instead, step outside for 5 minutes. Get sunlight on your face. Breathe in silence. Stretch your body. Let your brain float without stimulation. These tiny resets are like power-ups for your focus. They pull you out of mental fog and bring you back to the present. Another powerful trick? The 90-20 rule. Work with full intensity for 90 minutes, then take a real 20-minute break. No screens, no emails, just a walk, a coffee, or quiet reflection. When you come back, you're sharper, calmer, and 10 times more productive. It feels simple, but that's the point. Complexity isn't what restores you. Stillness is. And don't ignore your sleep. That's the ultimate reset button. If you're running on 5 hours, no productivity hack in the world will save your focus. Get serious about rest. Make it sacred. Because tired minds make lazy decisions. And lazy decisions, they cost you time, energy, and momentum. You see, every time you hit pause with intention, you're not slowing down, you're sharpening your edge. You're training your brain to recover faster, think clearer, and stay locked in when it matters most. But there's still one thing draining your mental energy, even when you're resting, and it lives in your head. Overthinking, looping thoughts, mental clutter. That's the silent killer of focus. So how do we handle that? Let's dig into how to clear the noise inside your mind so you can finally think straight, act fast, and protect your most valuable resource, your attention. Your environment might be quiet, your schedule might be structured, but if your mind is loud, if it's racing with unfinished thoughts, fears, or random distractions, focus will still slip through your fingers. Most people think distraction comes from the outside, but the real danger comes from within. That endless stream of inner chatter, it's costing you clarity, energy, and peace. And unless you learn to master it, it will keep sabotaging your progress, no matter how hard you try to focus. Mental clutter is sneaky. It shows up as overthinking, worrying about things you can't control, replaying conversations, second-guessing your decisions, or jumping from idea to idea without ever finishing one. You feel busy, but you're not productive. You feel tired, but you haven't actually done anything. That's the cost of mental noise. It burns energy without movement. The first step to silencing that noise is awareness. Start noticing what takes up space in your mind when you're trying to work or concentrate. Is it fear, self-doubt, regret, future anxiety? You can't remove what you don't name. So begin labeling your distractions. Call them out. Bring them into the light. Once you see them clearly, they start to lose their grip. Then, practice what high performers call a mental reset ritual. This could be as simple as journaling for 5 minutes before deep work. Write down everything bouncing around your mind. Let it spill onto the page. No filters, no structure. Just get it out. You'll be shocked how much lighter you feel when you release what's been looping silently in your head. Meditation is another powerful tool. And no, it doesn't have to be spiritual or complicated. Even 2 minutes of sitting in silence, focusing on your breath, letting thoughts rise and fall without chasing them, can train your brain to slow down. Over time, this builds what scientists call metacognition, the ability to observe your thoughts instead of reacting to them. That's a game changer for anyone who wants to stay focused under pressure. Another trick? Make fewer decisions. Decision fatigue is real. The more small choices you make, what to wear, what to eat, when to check email, the more mental energy you burn before you even start your real work. Automate the basics. Create routines. Eat the same breakfast. Wear similar outfits. Free up your mental space so you can think deeply where it counts. And remember, your brain is not a storage unit. Don't try to hold everything in your head. Use lists. Use tools. Capture ideas. Offload your mental load so your mind can breathe and think clearly. Mental stillness isn't about having no thoughts. It's about having the space to choose where your thoughts go. And when you finally get to that place, where your mind is clear, your space is clean, and your energy is focused, something powerful happens. You become unstoppable. You stop reacting and start creating. You stop spinning in circles and start building momentum. But now that we've cleaned up your mental energy, there's one more skill that separates focused people from the scattered. And that's your ability to say no. Because even with clarity, if you say yes to everything, your energy will always be diluted. Let's dig into that next, because mastering your focus also means mastering your boundaries. By now, you've reset your environment, cleared your mind, and begun building the habits of focus. But there's one crucial piece of the puzzle that many people overlook: boundaries. Specifically, the ability to say no. We live in a world where everyone wants your time, emails, phone calls, meetings, social media, and even well-meaning friends or family. We're constantly pulled in different directions. And in the midst of all that noise, it's easy to think that saying yes to everything will help us keep up. But the truth is, saying yes to everything means saying no to the things that matter most. Every time you take on something that isn't aligned with your goals, you're diluting your focus, energy, and attention. Let's face it, saying no is uncomfortable for most people. We don't want to disappoint others, and we worry that we'll seem rude or unhelpful. But here's the truth you need to accept. Saying no isn't about being selfish. It's about protecting your time and your goals. You cannot be everything to everyone and still be focused. If you try, you'll end up spreading yourself so thin that you can't give your best effort to the things that matter most. When you get clear about what matters to you, your personal goals, your health, your growth, your relationships, saying no becomes easier. You begin to see your time as precious. Every hour you spend on something that's not helping you move forward is an hour you're not spending on your real priorities. And when you learn to honor your priorities, you give yourself the freedom to focus where it counts. Start practicing saying no with small things. When someone invites you to a meeting that doesn't align with your goals, politely decline. If you're constantly asked to take on extra work that doesn't contribute to your mission, learn to set that boundary. It doesn't have to be harsh. It doesn't even have to be explained in great detail. A simple, "I'm focusing on other projects right now," or "I have other commitments," is all it takes. The key is not to feel guilty for taking care of your time and energy. Sometimes you'll need to give yourself a pause before saying yes or no. This gives you the space to evaluate whether a request aligns with your focus and your goals. When someone asks you for a favor or a meeting, don't respond immediately. Take a step back, check your schedule, and think about whether this aligns with your priorities. "Let me check my schedule and get back to you" is a simple way to gain that space. It doesn't mean you're rejecting the person. It just means you're choosing your focus over unnecessary distractions. Now let's talk about external distractions. Boundaries aren't just for people. They're for your environment too. If your phone constantly pings with notifications, or you're always jumping from one app to another, it's time to get serious about your boundaries. You need to make your environment work for you. Start by muting unnecessary notifications, or put your phone on Do Not Disturb during focus time. If social media is a temptation, try using apps that block it during working hours. Remove the noise from your physical space as well. A cluttered desk or workspace is a mental drain. Clean it up. Make it a space that invites focus. But the most important boundary to master is the one you set with yourself. How many times do you hear that inner voice saying, you should be doing more, or you're not working fast enough? That voice is the biggest distractor of all, pulling your attention away from what's important and focusing it on unnecessary pressure. This is where self-compassion and mindfulness come in. You have to learn to say no to the internal voices that demand too much of you. You must give yourself permission to rest, to slow down, and to focus on the present task at hand. Your mind needs space to breathe in order to work effectively. If you overburden it with negative self-talk or unrealistic expectations, you're setting yourself up for failure. By saying no to the things that don't matter, you free up your energy to pour into the things that do. You start to operate at your highest level. You become more productive, more focused, and more intentional in everything you do. Your boundaries aren't just walls, they're tools that help you protect your energy and stay aligned with your purpose. But saying no isn't just about protecting your time, it's also about building momentum. The more you say no to distractions, the more you reinforce the habit of focus. This gives you the momentum you need to stay productive over the long term. And speaking of momentum, that's exactly what we'll tackle next. Once you've mastered your time and boundaries, it's time to turn that focus into unstoppable energy. Stay with me as we dive into how to build momentum and maintain it over time. Now that you've gotten clear on your priorities, eliminated distractions, and set healthy boundaries, it's time to take things to the next level. Momentum is the secret ingredient that transforms all your hard work into lasting success. When you're focused, consistent, and driven, momentum builds naturally. But the real challenge lies in building that momentum from the start and maintaining it once you've created it. Momentum isn't just about pushing yourself harder, it's about creating a cycle of continuous action that feeds itself. Think of it like a snowball. At first it's small and slow, but as it rolls down the hill, it picks up speed and grows in size. The same principle applies to your focus and energy. It starts with a single action, and when you consistently repeat it, the momentum builds and propels you forward. One of the most important things to understand about momentum is that it's fueled by consistency. You don't need to make huge leaps every single day. In fact, trying to do too much at once can lead to burnout. Instead, you need to focus on small, sustainable actions that you can repeat day in and day out. The key is showing up consistently, even when you don't feel like it. Over time, these small actions compound into bigger results. Start by breaking your tasks into manageable chunks. The more you make progress, even if it's incremental, the more you'll start to feel that momentum building. For example, if you're working on a long-term project, rather than getting overwhelmed by the enormity of it, focus on completing small tasks that move you closer to your goal. Celebrate each little win, because every step you take is an important part of the journey. One of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to build momentum is thinking that it's a straight line from start to finish. It's not. Momentum involves setbacks, obstacles, and challenges. It's about pushing forward despite the roadblocks, learning from failures, and constantly adjusting your approach. If you encounter a challenge, see it as an opportunity to test your commitment and sharpen your focus. Every setback is a chance to recalibrate and come back stronger. The key to maintaining momentum is to track your progress. There's something incredibly powerful about seeing how far you've come. Whether it's keeping a journal using a habit tracker or just writing down your daily achievements, tracking gives you a visual representation of your efforts. It reminds you of the work you've put in and the progress you've made, which fuels your drive to keep going. Without tracking, it's easy to get discouraged or feel like you're not making progress, even when you are. Another way to build and sustain momentum is to reward yourself. This might sound simple, but it's incredibly effective. When you accomplish a task, take a moment to recognize it. Whether it's something small, like taking a break, or treating yourself to something you enjoy, these little rewards keep you motivated. Rewarding yourself also reinforces the behavior, helping you stay on track and energized for the next step. Another powerful strategy is to create a routine that supports your momentum. Routines provide structure, and when you have a structured plan, it's easier to stay on course. Set specific times for when you'll work, when you'll rest, and when you'll focus on your goals. Having a routine eliminates decision fatigue and gives you a clear path to follow. The more you stick to this routine, the more momentum you'll create. But perhaps one of the most important things to remember about momentum is that energy begets energy. The more you focus your energy on the things that matter, the more energized you become. You'll find yourself waking up with a sense of purpose and excitement about the day ahead. Momentum creates its own drive. It's like a fuel that keeps you going, but it only works if you keep feeding it with consistent action. Building momentum isn't easy. It takes time, patience, and a willingness to embrace the process, even when it feels slow. But once you've started that snowball rolling, you'll see how quickly things begin to pick up. And when you have momentum on your side, there's no stopping you. Now that you've learned how to build and maintain momentum, we'll move on to the next step: how to stay focused and avoid burnout. This is where most people struggle, so we'll dive into the tools and strategies you need to keep going strong. You've done the hard work of establishing focus, setting boundaries, building momentum, and aligning your actions with your goals. Now, it's time to address one of the biggest threats to your success: burnout. No matter how focused or driven you are, if you don't take care of yourself and your energy, you'll eventually burn out. Burnout doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process. It starts small. You push a little harder, stay up a little later, sacrifice a little more of your time, and before you know it, your energy is drained. The worst part is that when you're in the thick of it, you might not even realize it until you're completely burned out and struggling to keep up with the demands you've placed on yourself. The first step to avoiding burnout is to recognize the warning signs. Your body and mind will give you clues long before you hit the point of exhaustion. Are you feeling constantly tired, no matter how much rest you get? Is your mind scattered and unfocused, even though you're doing everything you can to stay on track? Are you becoming increasingly irritable or frustrated with tasks that once brought you joy? These are all signs that your energy is being drained. Once you recognize the signs, it's important to acknowledge the need for rest. Many people have the mindset that rest is a luxury, something they can afford once they've earned it. But in reality, rest is an essential part of the process. It's the fuel that replenishes your energy and helps you stay sharp and focused. Without it, you'll only burn yourself out faster. Start by scheduling regular breaks throughout your day. This might seem counterintuitive, especially when you're trying to build momentum, but taking short breaks actually enhances your productivity. Research shows that taking a 5-minute break every hour helps to recharge your brain, improve focus, and prevent mental fatigue. Don't skip your lunch breaks either. Use that time to step away from your work and give your mind a chance to reset. Another way to avoid burnout is to set realistic expectations for yourself. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking you need to do everything all at once, but the truth is, you can't. Your goals are important, but so is your well-being. Be honest with yourself about what you can achieve in a given time frame and don't overcommit. It's better to take consistent, manageable steps toward your goals than to push yourself to the limit and risk burning out. Along with realistic expectations, delegation plays a huge role in preventing burnout. You don't have to do everything yourself. If there are tasks that others can take off your plate, delegate them. This frees up your energy for the things that truly matter, and it helps you maintain your focus on your top priorities. To further protect your mental health and prevent burnout, it's important to practice mindfulness and self-care. Mindfulness allows you to stay grounded in the present moment, reducing anxiety and stress. Meditation, journaling, or simple deep breathing exercises can help you reconnect with yourself, calm your mind, and regain focus. Taking care of your physical health is also crucial. Regular exercise, healthy eating, and quality sleep are all essential for maintaining the energy you need to stay focused. It's also critical to learn how to say no. And this time, we're talking about saying no to your own inner voice. That voice that pushes you to do more, go faster, and work harder, even when your body is telling you to stop. It's easy to get caught up in the pressure to keep going, but pushing through without rest only leads to burnout. Learn to recognize when you're overexerting yourself and allow yourself permission to slow down. Finally, don't forget about your social support system. Surround yourself with people who understand your goals and support your journey. Whether it's family, friends, or a mentor, having people who can encourage you and help you through tough times is invaluable. When you're feeling drained or overwhelmed, talking to someone who understands can provide you with the perspective you need to get back on track. Avoiding burnout isn't just about taking breaks and managing your time. It's about creating a balanced lifestyle that supports your long-term success. By practicing self-care, setting realistic goals, and learning to say no when necessary, you can sustain your focus and energy without burning out. Remember, success is a marathon, not a sprint. It's about the long-term journey, not short bursts of intense activity followed by exhaustion. With the right mindset, tools, and habits, you can continue to grow, stay focused, and achieve your goals without losing your balance. As we wrap up, let's take a moment to reflect. Mastering focus, building momentum, and avoiding burnout is not something that happens overnight. It's a continuous process, a commitment to bettering yourself every single day. Remember, consistency is key. If you stay focused on the small steps, you'll gradually see massive changes in your life. If you're ready to make that shift, take action now. Start implementing the strategies we've discussed today. The longer you wait, the longer it will take to see results. But don't let that discourage you. Each moment you commit to staying focused, each small action you take toward your goals, is a victory in itself. Don't just watch this video and forget about it. Take one small step right now. Whether it's removing a distraction, writing down your top priority, or committing to a break schedule, do something to take control of your focus today. If this video resonated with you, leave a comment below. Share what you're focusing on and what steps you're taking. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more motivational tips to help you stay on track. We're all in this together, so let's grow, stay focused, and keep moving forward.